Welcome to the Straightforward Connection with Tommy. This video is on your September 29th Raw results and Superstar spoilers for this week. Happy birthday goes to six-time WWF Hardcore Champion Steve Blackman, turned 51. Current CMLL Tag Team Champion Atlantis, turned 52. And Japanese Tag Team Legend Team Legend Jado, turned 46. And that was birthday for September 28th. And now for September 29th, happy birthday to former WWF wrestler David Sammartino. 54 years old. One-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion Togi Makabe turned 42. And former WWE ECW Tag Team Champion Yoshihiro Tajiri turned 44. The dated dark match advertising listed John Cena and Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton as Rollins. Only one could assume that Dean Ambrose will replace Roman Reigns in that match. Former WWE wrestler David Sammartino, already said that, just in case it found some others. He's the son of Bruno Sammartino. Yoshihiro Tajiri, 44. He was born September 29, 1970, and been working for Wrestle One in Japan, and has also made recent appearances on TNA TV. Skandor Akbar, aka Jimmy Saeed Weba, was born September 29, 1934. Died August 19, 2010 at the age of 75 following a battle with prostate cancer. He wrestled in the 60s and 70s and then retired and became a successful manager in 1977. I remember him best for his work as manager of Devastation Incorporated in World Class Championship Wrestling. WWE aired new vignettes of the Wyatt family on Raw that indicated Luke Harper could be headed for a possible singles push. The Bunny's official WWE profile can now be found on WWE.com, as he's now a talent. WWE wrote the following about the character itself. While little is known about the bushy-tailed sensation, no one can deny the impact he is having in Adam Rose's corner and on the WWE Universe as a whole. On September 22nd edition of Raw, the Bunny brought the crowd to its feet when he made his official debut, joining the self-proclaimed conductor of the Exotic Express in a tag team showdown against Slater Gator. Without a doubt, this competitor is ready to jump into greatness, and the party is only looking up from here. Injured diva Tamina Snuka tweeted the following update on Monday. Last week got to do some slow trot running, but today I graduated to the agility ladder. Drills, hashtag baby steps, but hashtag moving forward, and then hashtag hella excited, unquote. The new pink WWE t-shirts for Breast Cancer Awareness Month are now up for sale on WWE Shop. WTNH.com has an article about the grand opening of Guinea's House, also known as the Linda and Vince McMahon Center for Women and Children. The new center for families in recovery is now 3 times bigger thanks to a $500,000 gift from the Vince and Linda McMahon Foundation. Linda told a crowd at the grand opening in Norwalk, Connecticut this week, quote, "This is not for me or about me. This is about all of you. I really appreciate this very much," unquote. A resident shouted back, quote, "If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have had it," unquote. As noted, Undertaker and Michelle McCool participated in the CC4C Micro Marathon for Inspiration in Bee Cave, Texas this past week. But I mentioned in the video, Taker reportedly told a fan that he hasn't ruled out a return at WrestleMania 31, as the advertisements on that truck was shown. Taker also said himself he doesn't remember much about the match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30 due to an injury he suffered during the match. Kevin Nash has a role in the Keanu Reeves movie John Wick. The thriller is scheduled to be released in theaters on October 24th. As noted, Nash will be appearing also in the Magic Mike sequel as well. Seth Rollins wrote on Twitter that he was coming to tonight's Raw to get his Money in the Bank briefcase back for Dean Ambrose, which Ambrose has been carrying the briefcase at recent live events also. Bray Wyatt vs. Mark Henry was advertised for upcoming WWE live events, as Wyatt posted the following on Monday, leaving fans to wonder if he was referring to Sting. Quote, "It exists in all of us. We are the ants. Destroy the scorpion. Be heard." Unquote. And WWE Layla has revealed on Twitter that she is dating former WWE star Ricky Ortiz. Former diva Karma will return to the ring at the big November 29th WrestleCade event in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. She will face former TNA knockout Lady Tapa. Chris Jericho is also being advertised for WWE's tour of the United Kingdom in November, so his leaving WWE will only be for 1 month. WWE take the following matches from Chicago on Monday before Raw for Superstars, and here's how it went. Kofi Kingston defeated Sin Cara in a very great match, and they shook hands after the match. Jimmy Uso defeated Stardust as Goldust was not there, but he appeared on Raw. I guess his flight was delayed from Hawaii. September 29th, Raw results. Raw opened up with Booker T, Alex Riley, Byron Saxton at the WWE Studios in Sanford. They hyped Hulk Hogan's appearance for tonight. Well, this was the looked like the pre-show. They talked about WWE's new campaign with Susan G. Komen. We get a video package from last week's Raw, and we go to commercials. We come back and they talk about Mark Henry and Rusev. We go backstage to Henry and Renee Young. Henry is still upset about his loss to Rusev. He's interrupted by Bo Dallas. Bo disses Henry and says all he has to do is Bo leave. Rusev and Lana will address Big Show's actions from SmackDown later on in the show. They hype tonight's Intercontinental title match again. Renee Young is backstage with Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler admits he's used some underhanded tactics to win lately. He's confident about retaining tonight. And Henry versus Bo is announced for later. They plugged the new pink merchandise again, and that's it for the pre-show. Raw opens up with a video looking back at last Monday. We're live from the Allstate Arena in Chicago as Michael Coleslaw welcomes us. He's joined by JBL and Jerry the King Lawler. We go to the ring. Out comes Triple H with Stephanie McMahon, the Authority. Fans start chanting CM Punk, and Stephanie wonders why fans always side with quitters. She goes on about quitting when things get tough. She then talks about Dean Ambrose stealing Seth Rollins' Money in the Bank briefcase. Triple H chimes in and says they won't let anyone disrespect the business. Paul Heyman interrupts, and out he comes. Heyman talks about Rollins interrupting at Night of Champions. Brock Lesnar sent Heyman here tonight to find out if Lesnar has a problem he needs to deal with involving Rollins, and then Stephanie cuts him off. She talks about Heyman threatening them, but is interrupted by Rollins' music, and out he comes. Rollins says no one in the Authority sent him out to cash in on Lesnar. He did it on his own. Curb stomping Lesnar's face into the mat was his idea also. Rollins says nobody wanted to see John Cena win the title again. Rollins says he wanted to beat the best Brock Lesnar. Fans started to CM Punk chant again. Rollins apologizes to Heyman, and then they shake hands. Heyman accepts, but says if it ever happens again, Rollins will be dealing with Lesnar instead. Heyman goes to leave, but Triple H stops him. Triple H is in Heyman's face and says he enjoyed their talk last night. Rollins thanked the Authority for coming out to chastise Dean Ambrose on his behalf. Rollins says Ambrose thinks all of this is funny. Rollins wants his briefcase back and says it needs to be returned immediately. If Ambrose doesn't come down right now, the cinder block incident isn't going to look like nothing. Ambrose appears on the big screen and screams Rollins' name. Ambrose taunts him with a briefcase. He rips the Authority and says if they want their briefcase back, they can come get it. Triple H leads the way as they exit the ring. The Authority heads to the back, but John Cena's music hits and he meets them on the ramp with a big shot to Rollins. Cena beats him into the ring, but Rollins escapes through the crowd. Rollins rejoins the Authority, and they taunt Cena from the stage. We go to commercial. Back from the break, the Authority is with the agents, Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble. Triple H sends them to get the briefcase from Ambrose and is giving them some sledgehammers. Intercontinental title match was up first, and we get Cesaro versus The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler triple threat match. We go to the ring. Out first comes Cesaro. The Miz is out next, followed by WWE Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler. Miz and Cesaro start by beating on Ziggler, but Miz tries to steal a roll-up for Cesaro. Cesaro gets a big slam on Miz for a 2 count. Cesaro goes for a Cesaro swing, but it's blocked by Miz. Then we get Damien Sandow ringside. Ziggler goes at it with Miz. Cesaro slams Miz and tosses Ziggler to the floor. Cesaro gets a 2 count on Miz. Cesaro presses Miz high in the air, but Ziggler drop kicks Cesaro on the back and covers Cesaro for a 2 count. We go to commercial. Lots of back and forth after the break. As Ziggler blocks a figure 4 and kicks Miz into the big uppercut from Cesaro. Ziggler takes a boot to the face. Cesaro tries to roll up Miz, but Ziggler catapults Cesaro's face between Miz's legs. Ziggler applies a figure 4 on Miz now, as Cesaro comes in and breaks up the hole with a big stomp to Ziggler's gut. Cesaro gets a 2 count on Ziggler, and then another. Miz comes back and hits a big clothesline in the corner on Cesaro. Miz goes up top, but runs into a big uppercut on the way down. Cesaro drops Sandow on the apron. Cesaro turns around into a big super kick from Ziggler from the win. Then we see Mercury and Noble backstage approaching various stars as they look for Dean Ambrose backstage as we go to commercial. We come back and get a vignette from the Wyatt family on the big screen. Bray Wyatt has apparently set Luke Harper free to run wild on everyone. Harper says we're doomed. Mercury and Noble backstage again with the Authority. They say they can't find Ambrose anywhere. Stephanie points out mustard on Noble's face and asks if he stopped for a hot dog. She's going to fire them if they don't fire Ambrose. Damien Sandow and The Miz come in next. Sandow speaks for The Miz. He demands action for being put in a 3-way and not getting a singles ring match. Triple H makes Sandow versus Sheamus for tonight. He says if Miz ever comes back and comes in barking orders again, his straight-to-DVD career will go straight to the employment line. And we go to commercial. First Divas match. Rosa Mendes versus Layla. Back from the break, and out come the Divas all in the ring. We get a clip from Natalya and Tyson Kidd for Total Divas. Natalya and Summer Rae are also out. Kidd is at ringside arguing with Natalya because he's not paying attention. Layla takes control and poses for photos that Summer is taking. Rosa looks to make a comeback, but Layla sends her face first into the ropes and hits the layout for the win. Dean Ambrose backstage walking. Back to commercial. Back from the break, and out comes Dean Ambrose. He grabs the table, brings it in the ring, putting the briefcase on it. Ambrose says he was in the concessions area the whole time and saw Mercury and Noble walk right past him eating hot dogs. Ambrose doesn't like how the Authority runs their merchandise tables, so he's having a clearance sale. He throws some merchandise on the table. He says everything must go, but not the briefcase. It contains some personal items of Rollins that he says he didn't know Rollins had that side to him. Ambrose starts offering t-shirts for $1. Mercury and Noble come to the ring. Ambrose jokes that they sent the cruiserweight divisions out to stop him. They want the briefcase, but he wants them to come in and get it. He says they can have it if they come in and get it. They think about it, but back down off the apron, and the fans boo. They back up the ramp and go back to the back. Ambrose changes his mind and starts giving out the t-shirts for free. Tossing into the crowd. The music hits and out comes Rollins, Mercury, and Noble again. Security also comes out. Ambrose says that he thought that they were Rosebuds last week. He tells Rollins to come get the case. Ambrose backs out to the other side of the ring and says he doesn't want any problems. Ambrose hops the barrier and backs through the crowd. Rollins enters the ring and grabs his briefcase. Ambrose has made his way back up the stairs now as Rollins opens the case and gets sprayed with neon green slime. Rollins is upset, but Ambrose starts laughing. Fans chant for Ambrose as Noble and Mercury are also laughing. Rollins throws a fit and says he looks like a jerk. Rollins blames everything on Noble and Mercury. Ambrose's music hits as Rollins continues his fit and heads back up the ramp. Still to come segment, Rusev and Lana will respond to Big Show's knockout punch from Friday. Also, Hulk Hogan will be here. We go to commercial. Back from the break, and Authority is laughing at Rollins backstage. Kane is there now. Triple H tells Rollins to go see the trainer and get his eye washed out. Kane says Ambrose was headed to Cena's dressing room. Triple H announces Kane and Orton versus Ambrose and Cena for tonight's main event. A loud vibrating noise starts up and everyone looks around. Stephanie says it's not hers. We see the briefcase vibrating. Rollins runs back in and grabs the case, saying it's an electric razor. But nobody's buying it because he's got a beard. Mark Henry versus Bo Dallas. We go to the ring and out comes Mark Henry. Henry talks about how the past week has been emotional. He apologizes but is interrupted by the music of Bo Dallas. Bo says Henry should be apologizing to himself, not the fans. Bo goes on and we get the bell. Henry unloads to start the match and beats Bo around. Henry then scoop slams Bo and talks to some trash. Henry with more big shots. Henry goes to the second rope for a big splash, but Bo rolls out of the way. Bo manages to hit the running bulldog for the win. Still to come segment again, Rusev and Lana. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we get Renee Young congratulating Bo backstage on his win. Bo says he's been telling people for months to just Bo leave. Henry attacks him from behind and throws him into the production cases. Henry beats on Bo and rams a case into him twice. Henry says that's what he does and leaves Bo laying. Announcers then hype the WWE Network. We get a bizarre backstage promo from the WWE Tag Team Champions, Stardust and Goldust. Then we get the second Divas match of the night, Brie Bella versus Eva Marie versus Cameron. We go to the ring, out comes Brie Bella. We go to commercial, back for the break, and out comes Nikki Bella. She says Brie the Quitter is back in the same city she quit in. Nikki taunts Brie and brings up Daniel Bryan, which gets a big yes chant. Nikki disses the fans of Bryan and Bryan some more. Nikki says the Authority let her make this announcement. Brie has a handicap match tonight. Out comes Eva Marie and Cameron. Well, it's a handicap match, what? Eva starts out with Brie. Then they lock up. Brie sends Eva to the corner. Eva charges and Brie arm drags her, keeping her down on the mat. Nikki looks on from the stage. Eva beats Brie down but gets kicked in the face. Brie also kicks Cameron off the apron. Eva slams Brie on her head. Eva with a boot to the jaw in the corner. Cameron tags in. Eva comes back in for double teaming. Eva with kicks in the corner. Cameron comes back in and hits a suplex for a 2 count. Fans chant for the announcers during the match. Brie fights both Divas off and Cameron accidentally knocks Eva off the apron. Brie rolls Cameron up for the win. After the match, Brie gets a yes chant going as Nikki looks on from the stage. Another still to come segment, Hulk Hogan. Back to commercial. Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil versus Los Matadors was up next. After a break, Adam Rose was on commentary with the Bunny and the Rosebuds. Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil are out next, and they have their own mascot now. A mini alligator, revealed to be none other than Hornswoggle. The Los Matadors wait in the ring with El Torito as Titus goes to ringside and we see him hug Jesse Jackson that's in the crowd. The end comes when the Matadors look to go for the win, but Hornswoggle crawls in the ring as the gator. Torito chases him out of the ring and Slater takes advantage, rolling one of the Matadors up for the win. After the match, Titus and Slater kick Matadors out of the ring. Titus slams Torito on his face. Hornswoggle hits the gator roll on Torito. Rose sends the Bunny into action. Titus charges, but Rose pulls the rope down. Titus hits the floor, allowing Matador to double team Slater. The bunny goes to the top and hits the splash on Slater, and Rose and the Rosebuds celebrate as the bunny celebrates with Jesse Jackson. Still to come segment again, and we get this time Cena and Ambrose versus Kane and Orton was up. Advertised for later, still to come. Also, Rusev will address Big Show. Back to commercial. Back from the break, and out comes Rusev with Atlanta. They pose under the Russian flag. Atlanta cuts a promo in the ring after telling fans to shut up. She talks about Big Show trying to intimidate her on SmackDown. Big Show's music interrupts her, and out he comes to a big pop from the crowd. Show says their propaganda is a bunch of crap. Fans start a big USA chant. Rusev says he wants to put his fist down Show's throat and rip his guts out. Yes, he spoke English. Rusev will bite his ear and kick him in the groin. Fans give him the what treatment. Rusev says he will break every bone in Show's body. Show cuts him off and says, enough talk. Show heads to the ring and Lana exits. Show charges and Rusev rolls to the floor and the fans boo. Show grabs a large Russian flag hanging over the ring and yells at as Rusev is yelling at him. Show yanks the flag down and Rusev throws a fit on the ramp, as does Lana. Rusev charges the ring but backs off. He jumps on the apron again and Show kicks him off with a shoulder. Rusev back in the ring and Show throws him right back out. We get a look back at what happened with Dean Ambrose and the Authority tonight. Renee Young is backstage with John Cena. Cena talks about the match tonight. When Ambrose appears in the background, Ambrose says Rollins is his. When they're done with Kane and Orton tonight, Cena says if Rollins dares to show his face, he's got a beatdown coming at Cena's hands. Ambrose says nobody takes food off of his plate, even Cena. Ambrose walks off camera as we go to commercial. And the third Divas match of the night, AJ Lee versus Alicia Fox. And back for the break, out comes Divas champion AJ Lee to a big pop. Paige is out next with a microphone on stage. A big CM Punk chant starts as Paige speaks. Paige introduces AJ's opponent as her new best friend, Alicia Fox. Alicia and AJ have words in the middle of the ring. Alicia shoves AJ to the mat as they go at it. AJ with a big clothesline in the corner and a heel kick to the face. Fox goes to the floor to regroup with Paige. AJ goes to the top and leaps out on both of them. AJ gets up and smiles before rolling Alicia back in. AJ grabs Paige on the apron, allowing Alicia to hit her from behind for the non-title win. Alicia Fox should be the number one contender. After the match, Paige and Alicia double team AJ. Paige drops her with a rampage. Paige poses with the Divas title and then drops it over AJ and then leaves the ring. We get another video from the Wyatt family with Harper telling us we're doomed. Sheamus versus Sandow. We go to the ring. Out comes the United States champion Sheamus and his coleslaw plug Steve Austin's new podcast with Diamond Dallas Page. As we go to commercial, back from the break, the Miz is on commentary. Sheamus goes at it with Sandow. Sandow tries to stall and protect his moneymaker, the face. Sandow blocks the forearms on the apron and beats Sheamus down in the corner. Sandow with more offense, but Sheamus gets pissed. Sheamus ends up throwing Sandow into Miz on the floor and bringing Sandow back in for the brogue kick and pinfall. Another still to come segment. Cena and Ambrose versus Orton and Kane. Back to commercial, back from the break, and out comes Hulk Hogan in pink. Hogan talked about WWE going pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We see a group of survivors in the crowd. Hogan gets a chant going and encourages the fans to go to WWE shop to purchase the pink merchandise to benefit Susan G. Komen and breast cancer awareness as Hulkster does his poses. Backstage segment to close out that segment. Well, backstage segment with Stephanie trying to hype up Kane and Orton for their match, and then we go back to commercial. Then we get a Roman Reigns interview, plus Big Show versus Rusev was announced for next week's Raw. John Cena and Dean Ambrose versus Kane and then Randy Orton for your main event. Dean Ambrose was out first, followed by Cena for the main event. Kane and Randy Orton were out next. Back and forth to start the match. As Kane is in control of Cena and Orton comes in to keep up the attack, and we go to commercial. Back from the break. Cena goes back down at the hands of Orton for a 2 count. Cena counters an RKO, but Orton hits the backbreaker for a 2 count. Kane then works over Cena, but Cena looks to make a comeback. Kane catches Cena for a big side slam for a close 2 count. Orton tags back in. Cena finally gets the tag to Ambrose. Ambrose takes out Orton and Kane, diving out onto both of them at opposite sides of the ring. Ambrose comes back in with Orton and hits the big bounce back clothesline. Ambrose hits dirty knees on Orton for the pin, but Rollins makes the save to break it up. Well, even though the bell rung, and it says winners by disqualification, John Cena and Dean Ambrose. Well, after the bell, Rollins continues to beat on Ambrose, but Ambrose fights back and sends him out. Ambrose also sends Kane to the floor. Ambrose goes to the leap, but his foot gets hung on the middle rope and he misses. Ambrose ends up tackling Rollins in the ring, but Orton makes the save. Cena sends Orton out. Cena unloads on Rollins in the corner, and Ambrose leaps on Cena and goes after Rollins. Cena pulls Ambrose to the mat, and he goes back to Rollins. Ambrose tosses Cena out of the ring to a big pop. Ambrose looks at Cena and then turns around into RKO from Orton. Kane levels Cena with a big right hand on the floor. Kane comes back in and choke slams Ambrose. While Orton and Rollins look on, Rollins does the curb stomp onto Ambrose on the briefcase. Cena comes in and fights everyone, but Orton drops him with an RKO. Kane choke slams Cena. Rollins nails the curb stomp on Cena and the briefcase next. Rollins, Kane, and Orton posing over Cena as fans chant, "Thank you, Rollins." We go to replays. Raw goes off the air with Rollins, Kane, and Orton posing over Cena and Ambrose. After Raw went off the air in Chicago, Kane, Seth Rollins, and Randy Orton left the ring. Dean Ambrose also left, and John Cena recovered until the Wyatt family ran out to attack him. Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper beat on Cena until Ambrose ran back down and made the save. And then Cena and Ambrose cleared the ring and celebrated to end the show. And that concludes my Raw report and the spoilers for Superstars for September 29th. And thanks again. Peace out. God bless. See what will be it. By the way, if you don't know, you better call me, bro.